So don't wait for your customers to remember you. Stay in front of them to stay top of mind. They may not order from you more than every couple of months, but if you are landing in their email or their text inbox every single week, they will remember you. You will be the one that they think of when they do need bread. I love sending texts for this. I have a weekly text list. I've been sending texts every single Sunday for well over a year. And there are plenty of people who don't order from me very often, but they do come around when they're ready for bread. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Breadwinner Podcast. I'm your host, Caroline. I own an in-home sourdough microbakery, and I love getting to share everything I've learned the hard way and everything that I'm learning currently to build a bakery that's thriving, supports your family and your lifestyle, and is burnout proof. Today's conversation is all about our customers, and specifically the customers that stick around. How do we get them to stick around? And how do we get them in the first place? So here's just a quick little business stat. It costs on average 5 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to retain a customer that you already have. Now, most of us aren't spending money on ads or specifically spending money to acquire new customers per se. However, it also takes more energy. So if we think about our currency, not just as our money, but also as our time and energy, it takes more effort to acquire a new customer, to bring someone brand new in, than it does to love on the customers that are already loyal and coming back. Those repeat customers truly are a gold mine. And so that is where we're going to focus most of today's conversation. So if you feel like you are constantly needing more orders, more exposure, more customers, it might not actually be so much about getting new customers in the door, but rather keeping the ones that you already have and then cultivating them so that they become those loyal, diehard customers who tell their friends about you. And that is the most organic, beautiful, and lasting way to grow a business. The beauty of those loyal customers is that they love what you do, they trust you, they already know your systems, your processes, and they keep on coming back. So those are the ones that really, if we just nurture them and love on them, they will buy from you again, but they will also be your very best marketing tool. Today, we're going to dive into specifically what makes those people come back, simple strategies to encourage them to keep ordering, and then a few practical ways to track and reward your top customers. The first question to ask here is, what makes a customer come back? I like to think about this sometimes as a consumer. Why do I reorder? Or why do I return to a business over and over rather than, in our context, going to the grocery store to buy a loaf of bread? It might really just be easier to add a loaf of bread onto the pickup order. But what makes someone go that extra step to pick up their bread from you or to go to the market and purchase your bread? So the first thing is a great experience. When I become a loyal customer, it's usually because I had a really great experience. So find a way to make it memorable. That could be through a really smooth ordering process, eliminating extra clicks if you have a pre-order app like Simply Bread or Hot Plate. They just have to click in their order. They get all their notifications that way. They're not going to your page and having to DM you or dig around trying to figure out how to order and then not sure how to pick up or how to get in touch with you if they have a question or need to change their pickup time. A really smooth, simple ordering process is a great first impression. So if you haven't already started using a pre-order app, even if you're just getting started in your business, go ahead and get started early. That is one of the big things that I would have changed very early in my business, is implementing a pre-order app right when I got started rather than spending the first few months in a manual process. The next thing is clear communication. So if they get a really clear follow-up, whether you're doing a manual text or email or whether your app is automatically communicating with them as far as where to pick up, when to pick up, what happens if they can't pick up, things like that, just lay it all out really clearly so that they don't have to chase you down if they have questions. And then a warm welcome when they pick up their bread. When they're first-time customers, a warm welcome goes a really long way. This could just be as simple as saying, "Hey, thanks so much. I hope you enjoy it." Or if you're not able to greet them face to face, maybe you've got your hands in the dough It could be a little handwritten thank you, just as simple as thank you on the bag, or a follow up text. If you have a manageable number of orders, a follow up text just saying, "Hey, I noticed it was your first time ordering this week. I'm so glad you're here." You could go deeper and you could say, "How'd you find out about us?" Or you could say, "Let me know what you think," or if you have any questions. But even just as simple, "Hey, I noticed it was your first order. I'm so glad you found us." Or, "Thank you so much for trusting us." Just a warm welcome into your company goes a really long way. So if they had a seamless, enjoyable experience their first time, they are far more likely to come on back. If ordering was tricky, if it was confusing, if they had to click around, if they couldn't figure out how to place an order, they are a lot more likely to find one of those other bakers who has a more simplified, streamlined ordering process, even if maybe they prefer your product. So something to consider if that's not something that you've implemented yet. The next thing is making them feel really valued and connected to your brand. So people don't just buy bread, they buy into the story, into the warmth, the feeling of knowing who baked it. That is one of the elements of magic of a local business, and people who love to support local businesses tend to really get this. They're connected to the person, they know they're supporting a family, they know they're supporting a human rather than a corporation. And so that's why the best microbakeries, the ones that really stand out, are the ones that create a sense of connection with their customers. They feel like they kind of know you, whether that's through Instagram or whether that's showing up face to face at a market, whether that's on Facebook. They can see that they're supporting a real person, a person who has real interests and curiosities and maybe a family, maybe hobbies. You can bring in your love of growing flowers or whatever it is, allow them to connect with you as a person. And this doesn't have to be a huge thing, but just a little thread so that they connect with you on a more human level. They become more invested in coming back when they're connecting with you as a person. The next thing is the ease of ordering and communication. So we've already kind of touched on this, but if ordering from you is complicated or clunky or unclear or confusing, even your most loyal customers might give up eventually. That's why it's so important to have a simple, friction free ordering system just to make it really easy. People need easy. There are statistics where if it's really hard, if it's a confusing process, they're burning so much mental energy that they're going to find something easier. So those are the things that make people come back. They come back when they've had a great first experience, when they feel connected and valued, and when ordering is easy and communication is clear. So now let's talk about how to encourage it, how to encourage them to come on back. Number one, customer service stands out. So one of the easiest ways to create a loyal customer is to be the kind of business that they love interacting with. This looks like quick responses. If they send you a text, you do not have to respond all hours of the day and night, but a quick, prompt response within business hours goes a long way. Warm and personal messaging. I love to use their first name. Even if it's not really quickly easy to find, I like to sometimes try to dig a little bit. It might mean looking, cross-referencing their phone number with their order to figure out exactly who the text is coming from. But I love to greet them by name. Little thoughtful touches too can go a really long way. If someone tags you in a post, comment back with their name and make them feel seen. Repost it with a thank you. If they show up for pickup and you're able to step out, you can greet them by name, thank them for their support. Let them know that if they want to give feedback, you welcome that. Just these small, simple details set you apart from other businesses that are just transactional. The next strategy to increase your repeat business is a keep in touch plan. They place that order. Another way to stay in front of them is to share little snippets of behind the scenes moments on your Instagram stories or on your Facebook stories. Just keep them engaged. Let them know what you're doing on a day to day basis. If you want to take this a level deeper, if you notice that they haven't ordered in a while, especially if they were a regular for a while, you could just reach out with a really gentle nudge. Something like, "Hey, Sarah, I just wanted to check in. I noticed you haven't ordered in a while. No worries if you're taking a break from bread, but I'm here if you need anything." I've found a lot of people who've kind of dropped off for a while will circle back at some point and report back to me and let me know that they just needed to take a break from bread or carbs, or maybe they're eating gluten-free now or something, or maybe they had a diagnosis that meant that they can't eat bread at all. Whatever it is, I've never had someone just completely cut ties because they don't like me and communicate about it. Now, maybe they didn't say anything, and that's okay. As long as they're not going and slandering me, which has never happened, I'm okay to just go let them be served somewhere else. However, if it's a regular that you had rapport with, or someone who maybe has shown interest and you haven't seen them around in a while, just a quick little check in. Could be something like, "Hey, Sarah, I know you loved our cinnamon rolls last month. Just wanted to let you know they're back on the menu this weekend." This is a great one if you offer a product only on a specialty basis and you know someone who really loves that product. Just to touch base to say, "Hey, I know this is your favorite and I don't want you to miss out if it's something you want this week." So when people are hearing from you regularly, whether that's a weekly text when your order's open, whether that's just seeing you show up in their social media feed, they're more likely to buy again. Another strategy is to offer exclusive perks for repeat customers. A little VIP treatment goes a really long way. That feels so special. So you can consider rewarding your repeat customers with things like maybe early pre order access if you're offering specialty or limited run products. This could be a really simple loyalty program. You could go analog and offer a punch card. Just print a simple little business card from Canva. They're not very expensive. Something like buy 9 loaves, get the 10th free, or surprise discounts or a freebie after a few orders. I love to do this. The Simply Bread app has recently added on the option to send out discount codes. And so I've done that a couple times to my people who really stick around and are loyal. I've sent a little thank you code and they can apply it to any order when they're ready. Or sometimes I'll add an extra cookie in and just say, "Thanks so much for your loyal support." None of this has to be complicated. Just let it be simple and kind of flow easily and naturally, just out of the goodness and trueness of who you are. But when customers feel valued, they definitely will keep on coming back. Now, the next part of repeat customers is having a way to track and encourage them. So you know how to get them in the door, and then you have some strategies to keep them around, but then how do you keep track of them and really identify the ones that are the most loyal? So you can look at your last 10 bake days and kind of try to analyze how many are repeat buyers. I believe Hot Plate provides some data on this already. And I do know that Simply Bread is working on the analytics side to make this easier to kind of extract this data. But you can just kind of scroll through and pay attention to how many are repeat buyers, how many are brand new ones. And if it's only 2 or 3 repeat, that can be a sign that you need to focus more on retention. If you've been in business for a little while and most of your customers are brand new rather than repeat, I would say spend some time focusing on really how you can nurture those customers that keep coming back. So once you've kind of identified like your top 10 or top 20 customers who order at least every month or so, depending on how many bake days you have, create a list, make a simple Google spreadsheet, just kind of add their names in, maybe keep track of how many times they're ordering or when they order. If you are just getting started, this would be a great system to implement early before you have a ton of orders. That way you're staying on top of it and you're not going and trying to analyze a list of 300 or 400 customers. And you're starting out on the ground floor, which is a great place to implement a system. But if you have a way to keep track of your repeat customers, just go ahead and personally thank them. So a great system to implement if you're tracking your first time customers, pay attention to them and look for their second order. And when they reorder, make sure they know you appreciate it. All right, so how do you actually keep track of who your best customers are? And how do you make sure you're encouraging repeat business? So, first, look back at your last few bake days and pay attention to who's a repeat customer. If you only have a couple of repeat customers each bake day, that's a pretty good sign that you might need to focus more on retention. If the majority of your customers are brand new, it's going to take some effort to make sure that they stick around, but you'll really want to nurture them and turn them into repeat buyers. Because if they're all coming in first time, you may be in that season where you're putting all your energy into acquiring new customers and putting out just more energy. Now, if you're brand new, certainly everyone is new right now. And so this doesn't quite apply, but this is a great time to implement a system of nurturing those brand new customers, making them feel really seen and valued so that they do stick around. So a great way to do that is to personally thank your repeat buyers. So when they're new, you send them a quick greeting, welcome text. And then when they order again, make sure you know how much they're appreciated. A simple little note in their bag, something like, "Thanks so much for coming back," or a quick text, or even just saying when they pick up, I loved seeing your name pop up again. Thank you so much for your support." It makes a huge difference. It makes them feel seen, especially if you share it something like that. "I saw your order come in and I got so excited that you chose to come on back." Another thing you could try is offering a small bonus for their next order. So if a customer has ordered twice now and they come on back for a third time, consider sending them a quick message. Something like, "Hey, Sarah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your orders. I love getting to bake for you. Next time you order, enjoy a free scone on me." Or sometimes I'll do this after they've ordered. Maybe it's their third order, and I might say something like, "Hey, I see you. Thanks so much for coming back and your continued support. I stuck an extra free scone in your bag, or I stuck a cookie in your bag just as a thank you." So these little gestures help build loyalty and help build that connection. So at the end of the day, running a profitable microbakery isn't just about getting more customers, it's about keeping the ones that you already have happy, engaged, and excited to order again. So here's my challenge for you this week. Pick one thing from today's episode to implement. Maybe it's personally thanking your repeat customers. Maybe it's a personal reach out to a brand new customer. Maybe it's setting up a simple little loyalty perk system, or just making sure that your ordering process is as easy as possible. If you haven't yet implemented an ordering platform like I talked about, and if you have questions about it, feel free to send me a message on Instagram or drop a comment if you're on YouTube. I'd love to help you decide. I use and love and highly recommend the Simply Bread app, but I do know that Hotplate is really well loved too, and another super great option. Super similar. They offer a great experience, either of them, for the customer. So I'm excited to hear what you're going to implement to help love on your customers and keep them coming on back. I want to hear about it too. So take a screenshot of the show and let me know what you're implementing. Tag me. I'm Caroline Bauer _sourdough on Instagram. I would love to see, support you, cheer you on, and reshare that so we can all get connected. So if you found this helpful, if you had a takeaway, it would mean so much if you would rate and review the show so other people can find it too. If you're not already following the show, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss a new episode. They drop every Monday and Thursday. And as always, I will be back very soon with a new episode. But until then, happy baking.